Anywhere from a couple hours up to 24 hours. Just go to getaroom.com. Enter your travel dates and destination. You will see the sales. Getaroom.com.
In case you missed it, this went down recently on Opie Radio.
I'm also curious as to how these sites are. If there's a lot of... Like, Tinder is so much bullshit and spam. And these fucking...
So why don't they control that?
Because they don't want to. They can, but they don't want to.
Why not? Probably because they're not getting enough women.
I don't know. They get a lot, man. They get a lot.
So then they don't need that spam shit.
Maybe it's just lazy, or they don't. I don't know. But that annoys me that they could fix that and don't. I just take a screen cap of every one I get that's bullshit. Here's the key: if she's pretty and she says hi to me first, she's fucking spam. There's been a few, and then Cuddler. I went on Cuddler to see what that is.
What the hell is Cuddler?
Cuddlr. It is shit. It's shit.
So they're trying to jump on the whole Tinder thing.
Yeah, and Facebook is of course tied in. Facebook is tied in with everything. They're like fucking oxygen.
What the hell's
a location-based social meeting app for cuddling?
Yeah, but it's garbage.
For cuddling?
Yeah, cuddling. Like, you know,
you can just call me.
Find people near you who are up for a cuddle.
I'll
have
open
a
up.
cuddle with them. No pressure.
Okay, here's my options on Cuddler. You don't have that many options. Like, I'm scrolling through. That's all the options you have. I have Richard, who's got his hand on his cheek. And I have Vikram, who's a guy in sunglasses who looks like Eddie Trunk. I have Amar, who's a handsome guy in sunglasses looking that way. I have Jake, who's another guy looking longingly over the water.
Oh,
so
God.
far, nothing with a twat.
Do you set your preference to men?
Cam, no. That's the beauty. Of course not. Cam, who I'm guessing is a guy, unless he's got a hockey player that Dennis Leary does a foundation show for.
This is Cuddler right now?
Here's a girl. I have Jorge, who's just a guy, and JJ, who's another guy like with a best man pose. Here she is, Christina. Let me click on her picture. No information. Ask Christina for a cuddle. I click on cuddle now. Hold on, cuddle now, and then the little thing goes like it's, and there's a check that appears on her. Error sending request. Oh fuck!
Why her?
I don't know. Maybe there's a box the girls can check. Oh wait, no. Here it goes. It's going through, but there's a 0 next to her with an arrow up and a 0 next to her with an arrow down. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means.
That's
and
you.
It means no likes or dislikes.
No likes or dislikes. No, everyone has got a 0.
Should we watch the video on Cuddler?
Yeah, let's try to figure out the whole cuddle thing.
If it says this app is shit, let me see, Trav.
Ever just want to cuddle?
Yeah, where's all those people that they're scrolling through?
Now there's
you
finally
go.
an app for that.
Yeah, exactly. It's a girl looking for guys. That's exactly what it is, right?
You have a cuddle request from
Faye. Ooh, Faye.
Sitting there.
Faye has asked for a cuddle. He's just sitting on a wall
with
somewhere.
Flowers. Oh, there's Faye. She's nearby.
Charlie accepted your cuddler request.
Wow.
All right.
And what's it say? Message from Charlie. Let's meet in the park. Faye, you're not going to pipe me over the head, are you? Charlie, no.
Real-time walking directions.
Cool.
Oh, she's walking toward, what's his name, Charlie?
Charlie and Faye.
Charlie and Faye are walking toward each other.
This commercial should end on a cliff and Charlie should throw himself
Cuddle
off.
in public or in private.
Ooh.
They're getting closer to each other.
Let's cuddle in the park.
They're both in the park. They meet by a monument.
Faye, Charlie?
Now they're
laying in the grass.
Cheek in the park.
Ew, with their fucking head. They're both looking up at the sky.
That?
And they walk away. Take care.
That was it? Really?
This is the most unrealistic thing
That
I've
is
ever
the
seen.
stupidest thing ever.
Now they're hugging. Yeah, oh, she dropped the sock. Well, different people are hugging. What a fucking... This commercial is making my... Oh, there's a guy in a wheelchair who wants a cuddle? How about that? It's great. He's going to cuddle at crotch level. What a fucking lie. Cuddlerrap.com. I hate it.
It's like cuddle rape.
Cuddle rape.
They're just lying to each other. So what? That's Tinder, basically.
No, we all have
They're making
zero
believe,
hugs.
look, it's just about hugs, but of course you want to... It's a business.
Mohammed. Oh, yeah, that's what I want to cuddle with. Let me cuddle with Mohammed. Funny, you cuddle with him and you're like, it feels like you're wearing something under your shirt. Why is there a ticking like you're holding an alarm clock?
Listen to Opie and Jimmy every morning here on Opie Radio. We're back with Opie and Jim.
We are back. Ronda Rousey's going to be here in about an hour. Jimmy says her book is great. We got Lynne Koplitz. I see her. She's in the lobby.
Oh, okay, well, where is she?
We could have brought her in by now.
What are they doing?
I don't know what they're doing. We're trying to figure out
trying to figure out the Wi-Fi.
the Wi-Fi for the studio.
Where's Roland? He's not
the
doing
code
Wi-Fi.
for the Wi-Fi.
He's the Wi-Fi key.
Yeah.
They're building our new studio. It's the old studio. They're just kind of making it nicer. There's more room in there, though. They've already made more room for us. And we should be in that studio, I think, a week from today.
That's right.
All right, we'll see.
Do you believe it?
I want to believe. I do want to believe.
I know you want to believe.
Do I believe? Yeah, I believe.
There it is.
Yes, I believe. Hopefully things are different around here. Lynne Koplitz.
Hi, Lynn.
Good morning. Looking way too nice for us. This is too fucking early?
I do Jenny's thing. I come on at 10.
Right.
Oh, is that what she starts? No wonder I don't see her in the morning.
See, I guess we're just used to it now. I mean, when my alarm goes off, I'm not tired anymore. I'm ready to go. 5:50 every morning. Boom. Let's get this done. Wait, I don't know what mic you're on.
Should be on 2.
We're usually not in the studio. They're okay. There's Lynn. Hi, Lynn.
Sausage festival in here. Hi, guys.
Yes, it's like every live event we have.
Yes,
all men.
This is us. We have maybe I'm thinking maybe 10% female listeners.
This is and your microphone's doing fucking.
You want to
great
move
today.
over to something else? Will that work for you?
It's okay. I'll just
Just hold it.
Yeah.
It's very cock-like anyway.
Yeah, it is. It's dark. All right.
And Jim just keeps shoving it in my face, which is
Sorry.
I wish I had a quarter for every time you heard that.
Yes. I'm trying to fix it for you, but.
It's
Oh
fine.
boy.
Just leave it.
Well,
All right.
where's Mars? Is Mars doing a walkabout?
Yeah, we have a guy
He needs
who's-
to tighten some bolts for you.
He's a guy he fixes things or attempts to, and
Is that the sweet, sweaty fella that came out to get me?
No, that's Roland.
No,
Look, we all know it was Roland.
no. Was he sweaty?
He looked like he ran to get me.
Yeah, he's kind of.
Roland is so sweaty that he wears shorts in the middle of winter. It's unbelievable. He does not have a winter coat and short sleeve shirts.
Like a bear cub.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. He's just always warm. He's like, this something. That's gotta be not good for your health to be like that warm all the time. It can't be healthy.
I would imagine not. No.
It can't be good.
He started complaining about the heat once it broke 70.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to be all right just holding the mic the whole time like that.
No, we'll get it. We'll get someone to.
That you're taking
Here,
pictures.
sit over here, and then Sam, you could do whatever. Yeah, Sam will figure
sit
it out.
there.
Let's get Lynn all comfortable here.
You're so nice.
So you do a lot of work with Jenny.
Yeah, I'm on.
How's her
3
radio
days
show?
A week. It's really fun.
She's doing good.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Why did we have a nicer studio than you guys?
No, they're rebuilding ours.
Yeah, this studio stinks.
and we're not celebrities. Well, Jimmy is, I guess.
No.
Yes, you.
Jimmy's
both
kind of
are.
a celebrity.
No, Jenny McCarthy is a big. She's a bigger celebrity.
Radio guys have never gotten respect. Howard Stern's the only one that has gotten respect in this business.
Besides the conservative talk show guys, like Hannity or Limbaugh or even Imus, or there's a group that people know and respect, but most radio guys are scum.
I'm sure she got a state-of-the-art studio. I've been doing this my whole life since I was 18 years old, and finally we might have something that looks nice.
Wait,
finally.
you, Opie, can you do it out of your basement? No, we're gonna go back.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can.
We're out of space.
Yeah. That's what Ant's doing.
Yeah.
Anthony's got a better studio.
Anthony probably does have a better studio than we do in his house.
Oh,
Well,
really?
Yeah.
Well, because people are beating us up because of the new studio. I'm like, do you understand? Even in the end, Anthony will still have a better studio than us.
Yeah.
No matter what they do.
Yeah,
You know,
state-of-the-art cameras.
Yeah, they're going to make it look nice and everything, but I'm sure it'll be missing a few things.
And that's so much nicer too to just be at your house.
Well,
Yeah.
I have to get out of my house.
You have to go somewhere.
I need to be out of my house, and that's because of how I was brought up, I think.
Yeah,
I was in a house of horrors. So
oh, that's horrible.
So now, as an adult, I think it brings me back. Like, get the fuck out of the house. Get the fuck out of the house.
Yeah.
And go enjoy the day. Walk around.
oh, it definitely does.
I think so, but I just need to be out walking around New York and just checking shit out as much as
The
possible.
one thing I know now that I'm fucking old is that everything haunts you from when you were younger. Like,
Yeah.
everything you do wrong now is some manifestation of something that happened. Everything you do right is like
Of course.
something-
What
like
haunts
said.
you? 'Cause I know you pretty well. I mean, Lynn's a friend from the Comedy Cellar and a comedian. And what's your thing?
Oh,
that
probably
bothers you.
that I was. What's wrong?
What is your thing that bothers you from?
From being a kid. I mean, I think the whole reason I'm a comic is because I was such a hot mess as a kid. Like I used to get beat up for being ugly.
What?
That is the absolute truth. In middle school was just a horror show. It was like Oz. Like, every day was just a new lesson in not getting my head in a toilet, or like bad things happened to me. And then
Actually getting your head in the toilet?
no, like girls took me in the bathroom once and told me they would help me with makeup, and they put makeup all over, like made me look crazy.
Mean Girls, love
I
it.
trusted them. It was horrible. Like, he tried to cut my hair, like really bad.
When did you know that they had not done a good job with the makeup?
My cousin went to school with me and saw me and went, "Oh my God!" And took me into the bathroom and fixed me. And then I made friends with this girl, Emily. I won't say her last name in case she's listening.
Yeah, you can't.
She was like a bad girl at school, but she saved my friggin' life, because I went home and I told my mom, I'm like, so I met this girl today, and she does pot and other drugs, and she had sex in our front yard when she was 14, and she was like 16 then.
Oh,
and I
Emily.
said, but I have to be friends with her because she's going to save my life. She's my only chance. And my mom was like, well, sometimes God puts people in our lives so our good can rub off on them instead of the bad rubbing off on you. So I got to be your friend. But,
Well, hold on. Who did she fuck in your front yard?
well, we lived like 3 doors down from her, but I didn't know. Some random.
Oh, okay.
But meanwhile, I was like a goody two shoes. I mean, I had to be, not really by choice. I was like an ugly weirdo. But
I can't see you as an ugly weirdo.
I wish I had pictures right
Well,
now. You can't see you as anything but.
I'm thinking they were mean to you because you probably were one of the better looking girls.
Nope.
And they were jealous of that shit. So
Nope.
they're like, let's ugly her up with some makeup in the bathroom.
Maybe in high school, but not in middle school. And then,
No.
but you know what I did though? I watched Cyrano, believe it or not. I was weird too. And all of a sudden it hit me when he makes fun of himself. And I was like, oh, this is what I can do, and then it won't be so stressful. So I wrote all these jokes slamming myself and went to the bus stop. And before anyone could say anything, I'm like, my hair's so frizzy. I break combs. And I just wrote stupid
Right.
material
Roast
for
jokes.
middle school roast jokes
Yeah,
on myself.
You pulled an M&M on yourself, as they say.
That's exactly what I did. And then they all were a lot nicer. Like, I mean, it was still mean. Like, they called me Frankenstein because I had one big eyebrow that went across my head. So then they'd be like, hey, Frankie,
Were you
talk
tall?
about your ass.
Why was wrong with your ass?
You know, it's ginormous. It's always been since I was a kid.
Oh, so you
You have a big ass?
Yeah.
No, come
Jim
on.
Talopy.
It's a good one. It's big in a good way. It's not big in a bad way.
Yeah.
It's a good size.
Yeah,
But
it's not, I haven't gotten to Mexican men yet. I have Puerto Rican and black men still.
Gotcha.
Oh, the Mexicans haven't acknowledged you yet?
Oh, when the Mexicans see you, you gotta start going on it. You're thick all over.
But it doesn't sound like you had a bad childhood.
No, I had
Most
a good
of you
childhood.
comics had something that went on when you were growing up.
I had a really good mom. Like we left my dad. And we
you left your dad.
Crazy mafia shit. And, yeah, but it left my dad like in the middle of the night. Like my mom woke up and was like, "Do you think we should leave?" I'm like, "I'm 7. I shouldn't be making life choices like this." Like,
All right. Well, there you go. That's why you're.
Why
comic.
did you?
We
why
finally
did
got
you-
to it.
Yeah.
No, your dad was into mafia stuff.
like low
level?
Donnie Brasco.
Well, the low level guys were the scary ones, though.
My dad, like I remember picking him up in a little jail once with my mom, and my mom telling me, "Hold your head up and whistle." My mom was a weirdo.
Why was it?
Because she didn't want me to look like, she didn't want me to look scared to
Or
go
ashamed.
get him or ashamed. Yeah.
What was he in for?
Oh, he did some time. Just that.
Basic
He
stuff.
was just in for a day or two for some.
Right.
He took some rap for somebody, and like I said, my dad was like, he was a good guy, but he couldn't get out of his own way. Like he was more of a wannabe guy than he was.
So at 7, your mom basically wakes you up and says, we're out of here?
And what do you want to do? Do you think that's a good idea?
Only child?
Yeah. But in my act, I talk about my sisters, but they're my cousins.
Oh,
But
okay.
Then my aunt left her. Yeah, I know.
Why did she want to leave in the middle of the night? Was he
Rosie
abusive?
O'Donnell guy laughing at me.
Was he
laughing at my life story.
was he abusive? He must have been if you leave in the middle of the night. No one leaves in the middle of the night for no reason.
He wasn't abusive. He was just hanging out with really bad people. And my mom got to the point where she was like, I can't have my mom came home one day and there were all this contraband in the fucking attic and closets, all the cigarettes and stuff. They knocked over trucks, and it was like a common thing that they would send them to my dad's house.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, the cops are going to come in here and I've got a kid, and like,
Oh, stolen stuff. Okay.
oh yeah, you'd find out that like
The
a shrimp
shit-
truck had been knocked over, and then my dad be making scampi for 3 weeks.
Yeah, the shit that would fall off the back of the truck.
It was always I mean, as a little kid, I remember my dad taking me into this huge doll warehouse. And to this day, I think he fucked with a lock because I remember standing waiting. I mean, it had to have been like 4 or 5.
Of
and
course
then
he was.
He turned all these big lights on, and it went all the way up to the ceiling. It was these big, beautiful dolls. And now it would scare the fuck out of me. But at the time, it was so cool because there were dolls I really wanted. And he was like, pick any one you want, Stinky. It's yours. And I remember thinking, like, that one. And we climbed a ladder and got me a doll. And God knows what
And did he
did.
take a few extra?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh,
They were
my
always
God.
hanging out of a bag, everything.
Right. So
but that's like, as a little kid, I thought my dad was a hero because he took me to this doll. He had access to this doll.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were stealing shit from a warehouse.
Right. So is he dead?
So what happened after you guys left? Did he try to find you guys and say, "What the
Oh,
fuck?
my God, yeah.
The fuck you doing?"
Oh, are you kidding? It was literally like a Scorsese movie. Like I remember being in Florida because that's where the only place a woman could get a divorce. Like, I mean, this is really serious shit, but it was the only place a woman could get a divorce. So my mom and my aunt, I came down the stairs. We were in Jersey, kind of in between time, and my aunt left my uncle, who was not. He was a bad guy. He wasn't like my dad. He was actually a bad person.
What do you mean? How was he bad?
Like an abuse, like hit my aunt and stuff. So
Oh,
when
okay.
she was pregnant, so like my mom was like, "Get the fuck out of there." And if you saw these women, they look like what's her name from Three's Company. They look just like they were hot, gorgeous.
Don Knotts?
Mr.
Audrey
Mrs.
Lindley?
Roper. Mr. Mrs. Roper.
Audrey Lindley.
Roper.
That's what I'm looking for. That's the levity I need, Jimmy.
Yes.
For this seriousness. But anyway, so yeah, we left in the middle of the night, and then my mom and my aunt were holding hands and had a map of Florida, and my mom looked down, and I remember coming down and seeing this, and my mom said Sarasota, and that's where I grew up. They just
picked a town?
They had to, because my mom got this threat from these thugs that they knew the route we walked to school every day, and that if my mom didn't let me go live with my Nona, because my last name's really Balducci. If I didn't go live with my Nona Balducci, something might happen. And my mom got scared and called my aunt, who's still alive, whose brother was involved with the real mafia in Brooklyn, like not wannabe stuff, real guy. And she called my mom back and said, "Get the fuck out of there." Wow. Hank, Enrico, my dad, she said he did something for somebody, and these assholes are not the brightest people. Like, it's not like on TV, they're not smart people. These hoods. And she's like, they feel like they owe him a favor, and something could happen, and he's doing drugs and stuff, and just get out. And my mom and my aunt packed up in the middle of the night
and said, "Hello, Sarasota."
Hello, Sarasota. We filled up the Subaru. My aunt and the girls flew out the next day, and my mom and I stayed because we knew nothing would happen to me. My mom was in danger, but we slept in the same bed for like 4 or 5 days, stole everything in our house. We all picked one. Yeah, now that I'm saying it out loud, I realize, I guess this is what you're talking about, Opie.
Yeah, you said
this is the backstory.
Yeah, I think all you, all you funny comics have a real good backstory. Did he go down to Sarasota finally, knock on the door or anything like that?
Yeah, at one point he came, and my mother, I remember visiting. We had a nice visit, and my mom had state troopers on the plane. So he got arrested. Like, he waved goodbye to me, and then they were on the plane waiting for him.
Your mom set him up?
Yeah. My mom's a ballsy bitch. You don't mess around with my
Wait,
mom.
why was she mad at him?
Wait, there's so much going on here.
Yeah, why was she mad at him if she was just leaving because he was a criminal?
He'd never paid child support, never did it, and then was sending private investigators and they were trying to kidnap me all the time and take me. So, I mean, like you, Opie, I always wanted to get out of the house too now because I couldn't go out and play. Like, I always had to stay inside, and I always had to know my address, and I was supposed to meet my mother at the Empire State if I ever got taken away. It was like really bad shit.
So you didn't have a relationship with your dad after 7, for the most part?
No, it was always just kind of weird.
Here and there, coming and going.
And then I moved to New York, and my dad would call me and stuff, and he was really sick, and I was sitting in the hospital looking at him thinking, I would be nicer to a homeless person than I am this guy. And I was like, I got to pull it together. And I called my mother and said, I'm going to have to forgive him. And my mom's like, who asked you not to? My mom's an asshole. And I was like, I'm sorry, no, I've been trying for solidarity with you. I've not liked him, but this is ridiculous.
Right.
My dad was funny, and
Yeah.
you know, you are your parents, so you have to find a way to forgive them. And I did. I said, okay, here's what mom says happened when I was little. And my dad was always a hustler. And he goes, you know what, Stig? I don't know. I wish I could tell you I did. And I know he thought he gave me the wrong answer. I'm like, right answer, Rico. Let's try and be friends.
Let's
and
try to
for the
move
last
on.
10 years of his life, we were friends.
Oh, wow.
Good friends.
Oh, okay.
So when he went down to Sarasota, your mom called the state police and said, look, you know, he's taking this flight back if you
Well, my
want to get him.
grandfather was also kind of connected, and he had like judges and stuff. So we couldn't come back to New York for fear I would just be taken from my mom.
Yeah.
Or taken to Italy or something. It was like hardcore.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they were constantly, my mom just turned the tables. My mom was very pretty, and she was just really smart. And she went downtown again, hold your head up. And we went into this lawyer's office. Good old boy. My mom found the biggest redneck she could find. And she just sat and cried and told him she didn't know what to do. My mom was the best. And I just remember him saying, they had really pretty blue carpet and candy. And the guy said, don't you worry. And he called my dad's lawyer, and he goes, you know what a chain gang is? And I remember hearing it. And he was like, we're going to put your boy on one if you don't pay child support.
Wow.
It was great. And that lawyer ended up like saving my mom and me. And like that,
Wow.
but he's the one who said like, oh yeah, we'll arrest this motherfucker. Because my mom just didn't want him near me, but he would call me and find ways. He'd call the school. And I'd get on the phone and I'd tell him where we'd work because I wanted to see my dad.
Yeah.
It was just weird shit.
Didn't you, like, when you get older,
This
like...
is intense.
But didn't you... When
No,
you get,
this is
that's
great.
interesting.
I
Didn't
like
you, when you
this.
get older, kind of go like, well, he did really try to see me. Like, he must have really... Like, instead of avoiding you, he was actually trying to see you.
That's what the little epiphany in the hospital was like. All of a sudden I was like, wait, maybe there's another side to this story. And all of a sudden I was like, shit, I would honestly hear a homeless person out more than I'm listening to this man. So, but my dad always had a hustle. Like, so when you were talking to him, you never got the straight truth. And after this, I think because I had been in the hospital and stuff, he was like, all right, I'll just tell her the truth.
But were you influenced by your mom? Maybe he was trying to tell you his side of the story.
Yeah, listen, when I remember being 9 and my dad going, I didn't send you a card because you didn't send me one
Oh, fuck.
for your birthday. You know,
Okay.
like, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. It was that kind of shit.
You figured it out yourself.
Easy. It was kind of easy not, it's like to listen to my mother because I was like, I'm 9. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
What was I going to say? Oh, mafia movies. Do you
my
enjoy
God.
a good mafia movie? Or is
This
that too
guy
close
I've
to
been hanging
home?
out with the other night said to me, have you seen Casino before? I'm like, maybe 20 times. Like, I was repeating lines while we were watching. I'm like, look, Casino's on. And I was like, I'm a dude that I watch all these mafia movies over and over again.
Yeah, that's a
Kind of
guy thing. To
soothing.
do the lines is a guy thing. Like, you know, I mean, watching them, but the guys do, that's what guys usually do. Women don't usually want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I was with an ex one time, we were talking about a movie, and I'm like, oh yeah, I love that. I started doing lines, and she's like, I don't want to do a scene.
I just like the
I
movie.
just like the movie.
It's your turn now.
Yeah.
It's so true though. There's no. I say that in my act. I'm like, we try and talk to men. I'm like, you want to talk? You really want to just keep a conversation with a dude? Just start quoting shit. They'll quote it. Like they'll watch fucking Family Guy for 4 hours and then quote what they just watched for 4 more hours.
Yeah, we do quote.
It's
That's
a
what we
guy
like to
thing.
do. It's not a woman's thing to get into a movie quoting thing. I don't
Very
know why.
rarely do you hear a woman being like, you know, is it raining? I hardly noticed. Like quoting some rom-com bullshit.
Yeah.
I can do it, but most don't.
I got to ask you about Joan Rivers. I saw some of the reality show because of you.
Really? Did you see when we smoked weed?
I don't know. I don't think
was
so. No.
One of the funniest moments because Joan and I both don't smoke a lot of pot. I mean, Joan didn't smoke any.
Yeah.
I didn't really smoke a lot except for when I was in LA sometimes. And they were like, okay, because we were drinking so much wine, and Melissa's like, these two are drunk by midday. Like, I can't have this anymore. So they were like, well, let's get them high. And Joan was like, oh, that's great. Let's do it. So she got her little glaucoma card, her thing, and she bought, you know, you go shopping for weed with Joan Rivers. It's honestly like a Cheech and Chong size bag. I'm yelling under the door, like, get the El Diablo and get the purple kush.
Wait, you couldn't be in there with her?
No, because I didn't have a thing.
Oh, you can't shop with someone. Okay.
No, you can go to the dispensary. But
Was
it
this the first
funnier.
time she got pot, though, for glaucoma?
It was the first time she'd ever, it wasn't glaucoma. It was, she had some sort of nerves or something.
Yeah.
And they let her get it. But it was just, we got so stoned. At first, they want us to fake it, and then the drag, because I'm not from California, I didn't have a license for it. They had to turn all the cameras off, and they told everyone, turn around.
Yeah.
And he leaned in and said, do what you have to do, get into character, you two, because you look really fake stoned. Like, I need you to do what you
good.
have to do. So we just sat there with all these bongs and things that Joan bought, but we didn't know because we don't do it, so we got way baked.
Couldn't you have gotten a card, or no, you didn't live there?
I didn't live there.
I hate that they told you, to try to fake it. I hate when they do this stuff with reality shows.
It was what was on.
No, in
TV,
the end,
it wasn't fake because
in the end, you guys did end up getting stoned together. I'm going to go check out those
four
clips
times
today.
because we had to keep. When we finally got to Melissa's house, Melissa was like, "Oh my God, they're really fucking baked." Like, we were so baked. Joan was in the front yard talking to flowers, and we were doing like quality pot that, like, I didn't know pot could be different. Like, so we were smoking different strands, and we were just getting obliterated. And then in the evening, we were like cranky and coming down. Melissa's like, somebody's got to take them out back and get them high again. And both Joan and I were like, no, because at that point we'd eaten everything out of food trucks. We were just, it was a whole.
Was she fun? Was she fun when she got? Was she funny, or was she funny when she got stoned, or was she more mellow?
We smoked like 3 different kinds of weed, and the first 2 we were really funny. She was really funny. She was pulling hair extensions out and pretending to be other, celebrities and doing mustaches with her extensions. At one point, I almost peed myself in the car, and then I got really hungry, for real hungry, and wanted to like go up to doors and ask people for cookies and stuff with Joan with me. And they were like, no, this is going off topic. You guys are not knocking on random doors in Bel Air.
Why not? I would watch that all night long.
It would be really funny.
So how did you and Joan get so close?
We worked on, Jimmy was on, we worked on a show called
Z-Rock, yeah.
on the Independent Film Channel, and she saw the pilot, and they had no money. And she said, I'll do it if I can work with that girl. And then I went in to meet her, and I just remember, because you felt this way too, Jimmy. Like, it's so nerve-wracking to meet an icon like that when...
Yeah.
I mean, I actually cared what Joan thought about my comedy. Most of the time somebody sees it, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. But with her, I really cared, and and I saw her, and the first thing she said to me was, oh my God, this is the first time I've ever seen the camera take weight off of someone. And I burst into laughter, and the whole room went silent. And then I burst into laughter, and she said, "Oh, come here, you thick-skinned comic." And she gave me a big hug. And I said, "You had to find the level of the room." She goes, "You have to." I didn't know what kind of sense of humor you had. I had to see. And then I realized from that point on, she did it with everybody. She would always nail you just a little bit of a roast to
and see how
what
you would
could
take it, right?
And if your lip quivered, she'd never be funny with you again, never tease with you again. If she knew you couldn't take the punch, she was like,
right. And then you guys ended up friends for how long?
9 years.
Wow,
10 years.
no kidding. And you were really close.
Yeah, it was devastating when she passed away. And honestly, I hope I can be that generous with my mom when she's gone the way Melissa was, because I've never seen anyone be. She took me by the hand, let me go right in. When she was in the coma, I got to go see her. And we were walking in, and Melissa said, just do me a favor, because she was in ICU, just try not to get too upset or anything. Like, Mom's still here. Like, just, and the minute the curtain opened, I said, Joan, whatever you do, don't go into the light. And Melissa said, I'm getting you a chair. Can you stay here for a little while with my mom? And I said, yeah. And I don't want to cry, but it was very sweet. And then I hung out with her and stayed there for, like, I would say a half hour. I was singing to her, talking to her. And then Mel came and got me. And then, of course, when we got the call, because I knew 4 days before anyone else did.
That it wasn't going to
I was calling my mom. I was calling my mom, crying hysterically. I'm like, I said that I need to come right now. Mom was like, that's not good. So it was very sad. But you know what? She worked so hard, and it was so nice. And when I went back, now she was like, her hair was all done up, and they were playing show tunes. She was laying under her mink blanket, and I thought, this is goodbye, So
they really did all that stuff.
Yeah. But, you guys, the funeral, I wish everyone, I hope they tape it and they release it, because it was the most amazing thing I've ever. When I walked in the temple, my knees locked, because the whole back of the place was covered in white orchids. And whenever someone died in your life, Joan would send a white orchid. and big paper white lily orchids that are the size of your hand. And I mean, there must have been $50,000 to $100,000 worth of orchids on the back of this temple, just huge. And then they sprayed her perfume in the aisles. So when you walked in, you just got hit with Joan, you know? So I'm standing in the aisle praying, going, please get me down to my seat. I can't. And I was sitting, like, they had it all orchestrated so that you knew how important you were in Joan's life by where you were sitting. So I had Donald Trump in front of me. So it was very sweet. Like, you kind of knew, like, aw. And then Howard was unfucking believable in the.
I heard he was very funny.
He was funny and he was touching. He was sad. Like, I mean, he made me cry. And then all the people she knew, like, I mean, Liz Smith from, Page Six, and like, there were all these people who were like best friends with her that you didn't know. And they were all from different walks of life. Like, I was one of the later friends, and then there were friends from when the Johnny thing. It was neat.
What else did they do that was special?
The Gay Men's Choir came out and sang. The first song they sang was like, "There's nothing like a dame." So like everyone's crying, and "There's nothing like a dame" starts with all these gay men singing in different octaves and stuff. And then they were like, the minute she walked in the joint, and you hear a guy they're saying, "Hey, big spender." It was the funniest thing. You couldn't keep crying because it was hilarious. And they're all in this very serious Temple Emmanuel, this beautiful temple, and they're in this black and gold like glitter robes. It was hilarious. And then Hugh Jackman sang, and Audrey McDonald sang. She sang that song "Smile." You want to cry hard, smile, even though your heart is breaking, smile, even though you're just like everyone. It was just Melissa produced this funeral like she has every red carpet event. It was that amazing. There were people to hand you a lipstick if you needed a lipstick. Like, it was like nothing you've ever seen in your life. And that part of it was really wonderful to be included and to go to the wake after at her home. But what was sucked was I'd never been involved with death with someone at that level. And I've never been stalked by paparazzi. I mean, who would stalk me? I had them come to my house and put their foot in my door to try and get a quote. And I was like, move your motherfucking foot or I'll break it.
Yeah.
It was that kind of bad. Like going to the, the wake, they open the car door and like cameras pop. It was just horrible.
Right.
And I look like crap because I've been crying for 4 days and didn't want to put makeup on. It was like 9/11 to me. I know that's a dramatic thing to compare it to because it was just so unexpected and
someone very close to you, and yeah, like you said, no one was expecting it. Just a botched procedure.
We all had plans with her. Like, people had plans with her.
It was just a basic procedure, right? In the end,
and Joan was a nutbag about double, triple checking everything.
Oh, she was.
Mm-hmm. So you
because it seemed like this place, the little I read about it, was a bit almost shady in a weird way. It didn't.
You know what, though? Because it was the Upper East Side, because it was an endoscopy clinic.
Yeah.
I think my guess is Joan probably, it had good credentials.
Right.
Except for now.
Right. Yeah, now their business is a bit fucked.
Yeah, once you accidentally kill someone, things go downhill.
Yeah. Once you accidentally kill an icon,
icon.
Yeah. If you kill an average person, you can wash it under the fucking, sweep it under the rug, but
you can wash it
once
away.
An icon goes on your watch.
So Joan Rivers is Cher.
Oh, it's really tough.
Elton John. Yeah.
That's a tough one to get fucking by.
Imagine having to take that phone call. You killed who? What?
Right.
How's she
no
doing?
Drag queen again ever going to go to that endoscopy clinic.
We have bad news. Someone died today in the clinic. Okay, well, who? What? You're kidding me.
Oh, that was the other thing. There were drag queens at the funeral. Like, it was hilarious. Yeah. It was wonderful.
How's first of all, are you close with Melissa, and how's she doing?
I am. Mel and I've always been. She's an only child, so she's like a prickly little pear too. Like, she's not the same. She's warm and fuzzy and really good, but not the same as her mom. So, like, Mel and I will send texts. Like, I meant to send her one yesterday for Mother's Day, and she'll write back, like, XO or love you too or, whatever. But not a big talky. Like, when I'm there and I audition for something or I call her and I'm in town, and then she's come over, hang out.
Right.
But she's more like a sister. Like you have your sisters that you're close to, like,
So
she
there,
knows
there might have been a little jealousy there that
oh, never.
that Joan was looking at you like maybe
Never.
a second daughter.
It was
No?
just the opposite.
All right.
And with Melissa, it was more like, oh, good, someone else can carry the burden. You go talk to mommy. She's in a bad mood. It was more like that. And I was always like, oh, shit, I'm getting fed to the lions. It was like, I want to go out tonight. Can you hang out with my mother? That's what it was.
I found her documentary fascinating and really good. The Joan Rivers. What was it called? Pieces of Me or Piece?
I don't remember.
Piece of work.
Piece of work.
Piece of Work. That's right. What I found amazing was that she was still working so fucking hard at those who gives a fuck gigs.
Opie, do you know?
She was coming home in the middle of the night from some casino that was in the middle of nowhere. I was I was saddened by some of those scenes. She's in a car or a limo going back to her New York City apartment at like 3 a.m. Like she's an icon. Why is she still doing those
80,
gigs?
She was like 79 years old, 78 years old.
Yeah, she was around 80 at the time.
I think that's what keeps you going, though. Like it's almost like she knew she had enough money, and if she wanted to retire, she could have years ago. But it's one of those things where, fuck my calendar. Like you're always looking forward to things you're going to do. It's harder just to drop dead when you're always looking forward. Like I got this gig in June. Fix this. You feel like you're at least propelling yourself forward.
The thing I loved about Joan, and I think where she filled in that my real mom couldn't do, and that where I filled in that Melissa couldn't do, was that she really got it with comedy. Like. She would send me notes like, are you depressed? Are you okay? Are you going out to dinner? Where are you? And I'd be like, I'm in Milwaukee. You know anyone there? No. Text me when you get home if you want to talk. Like she was always, because she knew. Mm-hmm. And like my dog got sick when every time the show, like when our show got canceled on IFC, I got a call from her and Melissa saying, don't worry, we got another show. You're on it. Like, because she knew about the money thing. She knew how hard it was for comics. It's feast or famine. And my dog got sick. She sent me she sent my dog a check for $1,500.
Right.
And said, cash this or I'll kill you.
Nice.
And
I need a friend like Joan.
Yeah. Her assistants would call nonstop and say, you got to put the check in the bank. She's checked on it 3 times. You got to go cash it. Like, she was really good like that.
Did she wish that Melissa was a stand-up? Because Melissa's personality, obviously, very different than Joan's.
She couldn't have been.
And very, very serious and very
she couldn't
straightforward.
Have been. It would have been competitive.
Right.
She absolutely couldn't.
But maybe that Joan appreciated that, you were
I think she appreciated having someone like a playmate.
Right.
But she loved her daughter so much the way she was. And she should, because Melissa's amazing.
Yeah.
But they were just very funny. Like my perfect example of Melissa and Joan was when I first met Melissa. We were doing, I'd known her, but didn't know her. And we were doing a scene for our show, and we had gone shopping, and we'd really had fun. And then Joan showed up, and the whole dynamic changed, and we went to get in the car. And, Joan was not a little old lady. Like, she was spry, she worked out, and we were in this big, like, Jeep Cherokee thing, or whatever it was, and she went to get in, and she was really having a hard time, like Tim Conway from the Carol Burnett, like a little old lady she turned into, swinging off the side of this truck. And Melissa just said, Mommy, the cameras are off. And she jumped up in the truck like nothing. And I was like, oh, my God, it's hilarious. It was really funny. She goes, Mommy, the cameras are off. Cut it out.
That's funny.
Get in the car.
She didn't strike me as a feeble old lady at all.
No,
she was doing it to be funny. She was doing shtick.
Who's got all those index cards with the jokes?
I know, right? You're like, who gets those?
That was in the documentary. They were like, how many were there? She would file every joke away.
She used to say to me, millions.
You think there's millions of cards with jokes on them?
Without a doubt.
She would come up with these jokes, and then she'd file them away.
She had so many, and she would say to me, like, I'd say, for a birthday, for anything, she was like, just send me jokes. Just send me jokes. So I used to just all the time send her. But that's what I'm saying. Like, Joan and I would sit around on set and write jokes for fun. Like, one of us would start one, and then the other one would add a punchline. And Melissa walked up one day and she's like, what are you guys doing? I'm like, we're playing a game. Like, your mom's been alive so long. She knows all these people from history. She doesn't need new friends. She's got all these people. And I'm like, well, what was Hitler's girlfriend? What was her name?
Eva Braun.
Eva Braun. I'm like, and watch. I go, it's like this. I go, Joan, Eva Braun. She goes, oh, so stupid. So she would say that. And then I would say, she is so stupid. And Hitler was always saying to her, no, Ava, you can go to camp, but it's not that kind of camp. And I was like, Pocahontas. She's like, oh, whore. Such a whore. And I'm like, yeah, Hontus is Indian. a Native American for bum. So it was like poke a bum, poke a home, whatever. And so Melissa out of nowhere goes, "This isn't a game. You guys are assholes. This isn't a game. This is ridiculous. This is boring." But that was where Joan and I had fun, and Melissa was more the serious-minded. But somebody had to be the grown-up, so Melissa was the grown-up.
So I could never write jokes like that verbally with someone. I can't do it.
Let's go back and forth.
No, even when I'm doing a roast, if someone's helping out, I can never sit there and just go back and forth with jokes.
I've
I always
never
have to
met
have
anyone
them
I
written.
could do it with but Joan.
I can never. I'm too uncomfortable to do it.
Well, that's fascinating, man. She really took you under her wing.
She gave me like a freedom. Like I would write jokes for her. Sometimes I wrote her a joke, and I remember she used to do in her act. Sometimes she would do like, "I hate," she'd say, "I hate fat people," and then she would go on to why she hated them, and I gave her one when I said, "I hate people with cancer," and I remember she looked at it and she just burst into laughter and said, "I love your brain. It's so twisted." And it was like they're so needy. I was calling with like, "Joan, can I have a stem cell?" "Joan, never, Joan. You got robbed from a documentary. You should have gotten a nod at the Oscars. Never any of that. Just me. Joan, my hair's growing back. Wine."
She was brutal.
Yeah,
but so it was fun
so
to write
funny.
for her. I couldn't do that.
Was
If
there
I
anything
did a
off
cancer
limits with
joke.
her? Was there anything where you were surprised, where you're thinking, "Wow, okay, that's her edge"?
You know, it was off limits.
Well,
Not being funny.
and
If
her-
it wasn't funny, she would be furious. Like if you gave her something that was edgy and it had a bad punchline, she'd go, "No,
and her
I'm
husband.
not doing this." She'd cut it off. No,
And she would stay away from the husband
you
stuff.
could talk about Edgar if it was funny.
Yeah. Oh, really?
It had to be funny, and you better be careful.
Oh,
'Cause
you're
you go where
fucking-
angels fear to tread. So you're going to write a suicide joke about her husband. It better be funny.
You better be. Yeah. Okay.
And
you're
no one could
well
write
thought
funnier
out.
ones than she did. So no one went to those topics because you couldn't. You couldn't.
She just never got over that, huh?
I mean, I don't know how you do.
Yeah.
I think Joan faked her way through things a lot better than Melissa does. I think Melissa wears her heart on her sleeve a little more.
Yeah. Obviously, you never get over it, but I mean, she never really moved on from it. Is what I guess what I'm trying to
She
say.
had boyfriends and stuff. She had a boyfriend for a long time that had one leg. She did a whole joke about
she really?
Warren. Yeah, it was really funny about it. How he always made her take him up the ramp. Like when they would go to the theater and she'd be like, "Oren," and she's out of breath circling around. She's like, "Can't you just hobble up? Like just, it's 20 stairs."
she dated the guy with one leg. I didn't know that. For how long?
She's like, "Let me get someone to carry you. Hold on a minute."
So she doesn't have to go through the maze.
Yeah, I
the
think
ramps.
for years, all the ramps.
Instead
And
of
she was
just
talking
going
about
up the
like
quick
popping a hip
stairs.
out, trying to push him up this ramp.
Wow.
I didn't know that
she
either.
dated him for years. But it was before I met her. But and I don't know if Oren had died or what happened. I never asked because it seemed like there was no
He was just gone one day.
no one ever talked about what happened to Oren. So I just assumed maybe he had passed away or something. But he seemed to be another big love in Joan's life. That was a name I heard a lot. And it's weird because people always ask me personal things about her, and I'm like, I don't know. I just remember writing a lot of jokes, talking a lot about the road. And I never, you guys know this. Like, you don't keep celebrity friends by asking them probing questions.
No.
You don't. Hey, tell me about your dead husband. Like, you don't. You just. And you don't want to know stuff that everyone else wants to know. I mean, I wanted to know, Joan taught me things like we both like to take baths. So on the road, she was like, you take a red lipstick and you write in the tub, "Wash me," and then you leave money you always leave money. But Joan would say you leave a 20 or a 50, in your case, a 5 or a 10. And she's like, and you write, because she's like, I'm in higher end places. You're in a Hamptons Inn, but you write, "Wash me," and leave a tip. And she's like, it takes so much bleach to get the red lipstick out. The tub's clean. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
But that's the kind of that's what I wanted to know from Joan. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I have no idea about her dead husband, but I can tell you how to get a bathtub clean.
Well, I would never take a bath in a hotel.
Why?
So for the reason, because it's A, it's something a lady does, and B, it's it's a dirty tub.
I
But
like
Jim,
a good,
I feel like you do things that ladies do. Like you are a nice.
Some things I
flowery-
do.
For a degenerate, you are kind of like when he was redoing his apartment. He would text me like,
Oh, yeah.
does gray go with blue?" Like he was like,
Yeah, Lynn was one of my go-tos.
he
Yeah.
always had swatches. Like,
Yeah, he takes that seriously. We just talked about Jimmy's weekend. It was fascinating.
Yeah, I spent it with a female friend.
I saw her. At the
Oh,
club.
you did? Yeah, she came
You
down.
don't know her, but
Quite beautiful.
I don't know how you don't make a move.
we're just
make a
friends.
move?
No, we're just friends.
But
for
they
a
were
long
sleeping
time.
in the same bed and
I have
looking at the
someone I
world's
do that
largest
with, too.
kaleidoscope, and it was closed. They had a very. If you didn't know the circumstances, you would assume it was a romantic weekend.
It looked like it.
No, but you know
They
how
were
it
pretty
is,
much
though.
antiquing during the day, and
That's your gay side.
Yeah, just
He's so sweet. He's so sweet, isn't he? Because he's like kind of a degenerate, but really sweet.
Jimmy fascinates me.
He's fascinating.
He really does, because I couldn't do that. I would want to get some action at the end of the day. They're sharing a bed together. They slept genitals out. What is it called?
Jen's out.
Jen's out.
Oh, you didn't do head to toe?
No.
I've done that with guys before.
Head to toe?
That's
Head to
really
toe.
being friends. Like when you swap spots,
Right.
so you're like 69 position, but you're just sleeping.
To me, that'd be more tempting. Just start worshiping those tootsies. How do you not?
Jimmy's into feet these days,
Yeah.
so that would not be good.
Yeah, but you've got some fetish stuff.
I do. But with her, it was like, you know how it is when you're friends with someone and the dynamic in the cellar, it's a different thing because it's not, it just doesn't feel that way. It was
Well, she looks like a normal person. Too.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't ever see you like dating in a sex way with an absolutely normal. Like, she needs to be a little broken. Like, that girl was wearing pink.
yeah.
Like, I feel like when the girls I've seen you with that you have sex with, they're beautiful and nice, but they
They
always
don't-
have like a little broken,
They don't wear pink.
like, yeah, my uncle touched me and then
Yeah.
I went to therapy and met Jimmy, I'm like, oh, interesting. You guys are going to have a great life together.
Yeah. The things that they're like, I don't want to talk about. I shouldn't get into that. I'm like, no, you should.
What was the girl with the bird?
What?
Oh, yeah. You knew her. She was Erin, running around the park for Erin.
Oh, God, I love Aaron.
Yeah.
I loved her too.
That's right. She had a bird. I forgot.
Jimmy
She
would-
was like a broken stripper and she was great.
I loved her.
Yeah, she was funny.
Every once in a while, I don't know, I would call Jimmy or whatever, and he goes, no, I'm hanging with her. And I would run out of my apartment just to hear another great story. The antenna up the ass story from
I
that.
forgot about that.
Like,
Which
she
one?
got pissed off at some guy, broke his fucking TV, and you
Oh,
told-
she put her antenna in his hiney or something? He was in bed?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember
When
exactly.
he was asleep.
Yeah. You hope so, because if he was awake, he really
But
took
what
it.
antenna? Just saying the word antenna dates all of us.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it wasn't even that long ago. This is a story that's probably
10
about
years?
10 years ago. But he did something wrong. Some hedge fund guy.
Yeah,
had
totally. If he had an antenna around.
One of
Yeah.
these state-of-the-art TVs. She don't give a fuck. She smashed that and then stuck an antenna up his ass.
He killed himself, I think, that guy.
Oh, man, if she had a
Because
story.
of the antenna.
No. I think actually he had more reason to live. But no, I think it was like long after that he committed suicide.
Yeah. And she was willing to do one of our bits, but the company was horrified.
That's 2001.
Yeah.
Or two.
What, something
2000. I was
was it?
dating her on 9/11. That's how long ago
Yeah.
it was. Like she was my girlfriend.
We
at
were
the
going to
time.
give like I forgot how much, but a healthy amount of money, maybe $1,000 cash or something. We were going to set her free in the park, and then it was called Run Around. Wait,
Run around the park for Erin.
yeah. So it spells out rape.
But that's again 2001.
Yeah, that's us being shock jocks.
Oh, yeah.
But we're
sure,
like, don't
okay.
touch her or anything. But maybe like she'll have a flag on the side of her, like flag football, and the first person that finds her and chases her down and grabs the flag, they
They get to have sex with her?
Well, no,
No.
It
it was just calling the show. It was
I was
really,
gonna
it was
say,
just us
again,
being-
the perfect girl for Jimmy.
It was just us being shock jocks. We came up with this dumb bit one day, just fooling around, and she was like, "I'll do it."
And you guys were like, we'll never find a girl who will do
Right,
this.
yeah,
and Jimmy's like,
exactly.
let me go to my black book.
I'll tell you how I
And
met
then the
her.
lawyers shut us down.
You guys were on the air one day. This was before I was in every day. And she liked to be slapped in the face sexually. That was her thing. She loved being slapped. So I remember you guys were going on the air. Jim Norton, if you're listening, come in.
Yes.
And I was listening, and you guys
boy,
were like,
did
come
you
in.
get in quickly.
I fucking drove in. I shot upstairs, and I slapped her on the air.
Hard. I remember this. It freaked me out a little bit. That one, we saw a lot of stuff over the years, but that I remember now. That was one that really bothered me. I'm like,
I
wow.
came on your show years ago. Like, probably,
I
Oh,
said
you
that
were?
to the
I didn't
guys.
know that.
well, probably 2010. And I just remember I was on that morning. No, I was on Change of Heart. And they were like, just try and stay on O&A for like 20 minutes. That's all we want. And I was on for like 2 hours because
That
you
means
guys
you
had
did well.
And Jim had just and Jim was there and Colin was there and a hooker came in with me and she had genital warts.
Oh, that's Sandy.
Sandy.
And she kept showing it to me,
Sandy
and I was
Kane.
like, "What is it?" And I looked at you, Opie, and you wrote on a piece of paper "genital wart" and handed it to me, and I was like, "Ah!" Because she was next to me, and you were worried that she was going to touch me with it or something. And then she said that I was fat, and you threw garbage at her. You all yelled at her and threw wadded up papers and stuff at her and called her
Sandy.
names. And I was like,
She's funny though. Like Sandy's awesome.
She's
just
really
mean.
funny.
hilarious. And she was really like a mean dumpster kitty. That's what she reminded me of. Like one of those cats you take home and it gives you like, fleas and ringworm and it bites your eyes while you sleep.
Yeah.
Like that's what she
We got a bunch of new listeners. Sandy Kane has this genital wart that's almost the size of like a baby ear that's right off her puss. And it's been that way for
a long time.
I don't know. We've probably known her close to 15 years now. And,
it is horrendous.
And if you call her out on it, she goes, she goes, I cut myself shaving, man.
Yeah, man, I was fucking shaving, man. It got infected. It's an odd reason she gives for it. It's a reason I've never heard of. I've cut my face shaving. I don't have a piece of cauliflower growing off it.
It does look like a thumb. It's like,
and she has sued us over the years, so maybe I should say. Maybe
those guys.
Maybe I should say that maybe it's not a genital wart because I don't feel like going back downtown.
yeah, maybe it has
She sued
teeth
us.
and an eye.
I smashed her guitar one day. We did so much stuff to her that
She had a guitar.
Yeah, she plays. She's
we always thought everything was fair game. I smashed her guitar one day, and she never got over that. So she sued me and Anthony. But this is why I love her, and she's back on the show, even though she sued us because I don't care in the end. She would make us go all the way downtown to appear in like small claims court and never show up. And
That's awesome.
And then the judge would go, well, we're going to reschedule. We had to do this, I think, a total of three times where they finally said, all right, I guess we're going to finally drop the case. And I would just go down there with Anthony, and we'd spend the day together. We'd actually have a pretty good time with it. And I would just laugh my ass off on the way home like that she's getting us, man.
That's hysterical.
She's getting
That makes
she's
me
getting
like her,
us.
too.
And then she called up and we had it out a little bit. I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you suing us? And she was like, I was mad, man. And they're like, all right.
Man,
Yeah, you
man.
broke my fucking guitar, man.
And I'm like, all right, come on up. And then she came back on the show and all was forgiven.
You broke my fucking guitar.
She reminded me of like who you would imagine you'd see in a drunk tank at night. Like if you got arrested in New York, like that's who you think you'd be in the jail cell with.
You want to talk about stories? She tells a story about a guy that raped her. Not funny, obviously.
The trucker.
The trucker. Not funny whatsoever. And then she tells the story how she went out to breakfast with the guy the next day.
That's funny.
That part is funny, right? As far as comedy goes?
Yeah.
It's a little
Hell of a way to make a date, but
she talks about like it was no big deal. And then he took me out for breakfast the next day, man, and we had a good meal.
Yes. Interesting story.
And then she talks about guys that she may have had sex with that we can't
She says she fucked Pryor. She said she fucked Pryor. She said she fucked Desmond Wilson, I think, from Sanford and Son. She did a huge cock.
Right.
Makes me so happy.
And
listen.
and she's an old school peep show girl from back in the day.
So she probably did, for real.
Yeah.
But then again, who knows? Because like I'm telling you, not to connect Joan with her, but Joan, I remember asking her once, I read one of her books, and I said, you knew Marilyn Monroe? And she went, sure. And I started laughing. I'm like, so you didn't? She goes, sure I did. Prove that I didn't. Because she's dead. So Joan would, there'd be all these people she would talk about like that she knew. But they were dead. You couldn't prove that she didn't know them. So like, that's great. Say you sucked Pryor's cock. You can say you didn't.
She probably ran into Marilyn Monroe back in the day.
Was she performing back now?
Like, who knows?
Who
I just thought it was
When
funny
did she
that
start performing?
She would always talk about like someone if they were dead. She'd be like, just use someone who's dead.
Right.
Who's going to prove it?
Right.
Funny.
Which is really funny.
We got
If you
Lynne
need a good
Koplitz
story,
in
she would use
studio.
someone who was dead.
What are we promoting, Lynn?
I'm on Jenny McCarthy's show every day.
Oh,
I'm
so you
getting
do
ready
that every day?
Oh, no, 3 days a week. I'm sorry. It feels like every day because I'm not used to getting up and having somewhere to go every day.
Right.
But 3 days a week from 10 to 12. But the show's on every day.
We got to get her in here, I guess.
Oh, you should. She's just two studios down. You would have so much fun with her.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk
What
to her.
time she start?
10.
Oh, all right. So you're going there today?
I'm going right now, yeah, when I leave here. And I left my phone at home today, so like, you know how weird you feel when you have
feel
fun?
totally disconnected, like you're missing a whole bunch of shit.
It happened to me 2 weeks ago.
I
It
feel like I'm
freaks
not
you the
wearing
fuck
pants
out.
or something.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm just so awkwardly uncomfortable without it. I can't text anyone.
But we live most of our lives without these things.
I know, it's weird now.
The kids have no idea, but we do. We know how it was like without a fucking phone.
Which is why when I was asking the guys here, can you please just text Sweaty Roland and tell him
Sweaty roll.
I'm here? Like, I have no way to tell him I'm here.
Yeah.
And they were like, the downstairs called. And I'm like, okay. So I waited like another 20 minutes and I'm like, dude, I need to see you call them again and tell them I'm here. And he's like, okay, and I said, please. So then he did. He emailed Roland, and Roland knew it. But I was here 20 minutes, and they were like, "It's fine." They called, and I'm like, "No, I know how this works. When you don't have a real phone, you need to call again."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you can't just text like, "Where the fuck are you?"
Yeah, that's what they called. They said I said, "Did you call?" And he goes, "Yeah, there was no answer." And I'm like, "So you didn't really call, you dumbass."
Right.
You didn't leave a message. You just tried to call.
They're the worst when you're trying to get into a building. They always say, "Oh, we're going to call this extension." I'm like, "That's a daytime office number. It's not for now."
You know, when you live in New York, I've learned how to get a nice rapport with doormen because that's how you get past them when you're dating someone. I mean, that's the kind of crazy I cultivate. So, like, I always bring doormen, like, hot chocolates and coffees and stuff. So usually, like, the ones downstairs barely acknowledge me. That's why I was wanting to make sure. But these guys are early guys. Yeah. So I don't know them. But I'm usually really good. Like, you know how many boyfriends I've scared by gaining access to their apartment? Like,
you're crazy.
Been in a fight, and I've knocked on the door, and they're like, "Fucking A, how'd you get up here?" I'm like, "Oh, brought Joey a hot chocolate."
That's the mafia girl in you.
Yeah.
That's your pops.
Yeah, so you learned crazy.
You learned a few things from pops.
I have scared many a man.
Yeah, that would freak me out. Should we break real quick, and then I got to piss badly?
Yeah, we should.
We'll stick around and
nice.
Yeah, we got Lynne Koplitz in studio. We got Rhonda.
Rhonda's coming in about 20 minutes. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll take a quick break. All right.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
Thank you so much, you guys.
More with Opie and Jim after this.
Miss some of today's show?
We don't have all day.
Or just want to hear it all over again?
I just ate a shit sandwich. Time to go.
Sounds scrumptious.
Catch an encore presentation of today's show.
Oh, boys, this is going to be a fun day. Strap in, kids.
Starting at 11 a.m. on the east, 9 a.m. on the west.
That, to me, that sounds like just a healthy celebration.
Nice. Real nice.
That's an encore presentation of today's show. Starting at 11 a.m. on the east, 9 a.m. on the west. Sirius 206, XM 103.
From the streets of Miami to arenas across the world. And now his own Sirius XM channel.
Say yo, Chico Pit, Mr. 305, Mr. Worldwide.
Pitbull's globalization channel is almost here and ready to bring the party to North America.
It's a blessing to be able to touch such a wide range of people.
Launching with an invite-only private subscriber show at Harlem's legendary Apollo Theater. Be a part of it on Tuesday, May 19th, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific on Channel 4. Pitbull's globalization channel, exclusively on Sirius XM.
Hi, folks. Alan Thicke here, and you've probably heard, maybe from me, that if you owe the IRS money, they can do some scary things. Garnish your wages, levy your bank account, even seize your home or business. You add on the penalties and interest, and getting out of debt can seem impossible. Back taxes are for real. It's not a game. But the game changes when you have a team of tax experts on your side. The professionals at Optima Tax Relief can immediately protect you from aggressive collections. And for a limited time, the IRS is offering a tax debt forgiveness program. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative. With the help of Optima, you may qualify for a settlement that saves you thousands. Nobody knows the game better than the Optima team. Don't wait till it's game over. Let their experts coach you through this. It's a win-win. Call for your free consultation.
Call 800-901-3022. 800-901-3022. 800-901-3022. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
FamousSmoke.com would like to apologize. Not long ago, our Twitter feed lit up because our radio commercials, well, suck. In hindsight, it's true, and we feel bad that we made you endure Vinny V.
This coupon thing is wowie zowie.
Suffered our shameless holiday pandering.
You're sucker-loving leprechaun at FamousSmoke.com.
And are downright remorseful that we put it to music.
First you take your cigar.
Problem is, we're too busy slashing prices on the biggest selection of cigars from Acid, Cohiba, Romeo, Padron, and hundreds more brands to make good commercials. But we know we can do better. And here's proof. Go to FamousSmoke.com and click the Activate button. One click will give you 10% cash back on your purchase of $75 or more. That's FamousSmoke.com and click Activate. And let's agree, no more commercials that suck. Just the top-notch premium cigars you love at discount prices and 10% cash back on your order when you click Activate at FamousSmoke.com.
Rod Delano, Attorney, Houston. Attention mesothelioma cancer patients. You may be entitled to compensation from the billions of dollars available from asbestos manufacturers, including VA benefits and medical assistance. You may not have to file a lawsuit.